Thanks for joining, everyone. We're going to start at about 11:31, just to give everybody a minute to join the call and settle in. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Cassie Wilcox, and I am the marketing manager here at RDC. We just want to thank you all for taking the time to join us for today's webinar. We're really excited to continue our RDC Digital webinar series with a conversation focused on how technology can really strengthen facility partnerships, not replace them. So today, Anna Van Gheem, our digital product manager, will be joined by our director of sales, Tanner Steele, to discuss how RDC Digital improves communication, increases visibility, and creates more opportunities for meaningful collaboration between our teams and yours. So whether you've been using RDC Digital for a while now or are just getting started on the platform, we really hope today's discussion gives you a better understanding of how this technology can support your team and your facility. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Anna.
Yeah, like Cassie mentioned, our goal today is really just to talk about how technology can support facility partnership and just the work that you're doing at your facilities. At RDC, our motto is that we help people keep their businesses moving, and so we want to just talk about how we can do that and how technology can help kind of advance that forward. So before we get started kind of with our conversation with Tanner today, I did want to just highlight a couple things, just kind of looking back a little bit. So if you happen to miss our first webinar, we had one on the enhanced customer experience, and this was really a technical look at RDC Digital, how it can support you in your facility, what the features are that are available, and how those can really just hopefully move the needle as far as what you're doing and the work that you're doing, the data behind it, the information available, the processes available, all of that. So if you missed that first webinar, it's available on our YouTube channel, which you can get to either just searching Robert Dietrich Company on YouTube or right from our website. You can go ahead and access it there, and a really great conversation over how you can use it. And then just wanted to also talk about a couple product updates that we had. So just a couple key features from recently, again, before we get into the primary conversation with Tanner. The first one being we've added some data around maintenance cost at facilities. And so going back to 2021, you'll get to see how much you're spending to repair and maintain your assets. And so it'll look something like this, and it'll just be broken down by the year and how much you're spending. And so we hope that this can be a helpful piece of information that you and your sales representative can collaborate on and really make the best decision for your facility. We use the phrase democratizing the data, and we think this is a really great opportunity to make sure that you have the data that we have available. So just wanted to highlight that. And then one other thing that we've recently added that we hope can be of help is the ability to export all of your service history on a specific work order. So we know that sometimes you can get those bulky PDF reports of the work that we're doing, especially if we've gone out and done a big PM at your facility. And so now above any work order, you'll see that option to download by dock position. So the default is going to be that it sorts everything by dock position, where our service reports often come sorted by the date that the work was performed. And so we're hopeful that this allows you to filter and sort things and really just collaborate a little bit easier with your team or with your RDC contacts or whoever it might be. So we just wanted to highlight those couple of features, whether you were available or whether you knew about them or not, that they're available now and just can hopefully be helpful as you're managing your facility. So with that, I will actually stop sharing my screen and I'm going to bring in our guest today, the Robert Dietrich Company Director of Sales, Tanner Steele. He's been with RDC for a couple years now, and I think I've just so appreciated how he values relationships and how relational he is within his role. And I think he also can just speak to the role technology can play in those customer relationships. So Tanner, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Anna, and thanks, Cassie. Appreciate you having me along. I'm excited for the conversation. I'm a big fan of technology and a bigger fan of human first relationships. So excited to jump into some good conversation, and thanks for putting this together.
Awesome, thanks. So I guess the first question, just kind of want to get started with what do you think makes RDC strongest customer relationships?
That's a good question. And, first of all, we're lucky to serve a lot of great folks, so many great customers and businesses. And I think it really does all start with that partnership, all starts with the relationship. It's our industry, luckily, is very human first, really putting the people in the center of the relationship. Like you said, we exist to help people keep their businesses moving. We don't just exist to help the facility, but we exist to help the people that are keeping those businesses moving. So it starts with the people that are at the center of that thing. And I think for us, it starts with a lot of the curiosity to really understand the problems that our customers face, the opportunities that they have. A lot of the people that we get to work with are really doing great work day in, day out. There's no shortage of work for those folks to do. Every time I go out to a facility, the list of things that need to be done is a quarter mile long. And so we've got to go in really curious. And we love it when customers are curious as well about how we can help solve those problems and help them capitalize on opportunities. I think it takes time, but also the strongest partnerships are built on mutual trust and trust that we're experts in the products and the problems that we solve. And our customers trust us to lead them. And then we've got trust in our customers that they're working to drive to get better, to drive to solve more new problems, bigger problems, to, again, really create the best facility they can. And the best customers, we're doing those things together. It's not a one-sided one side of a coin. It's really mutual trust that drives those changes to help us keep their business moving, which is really, really fun. And again, we're so lucky to have just a ton of great customers and people that we get to work with every day, day in, day out, who are working hard to make sure that their facilities are getting better, doing more, and helping put people into great jobs.
Yeah, I love what you said there about like solving like bigger problems for the customer. I think that's something that I've seen has been like such a cool part of being here at RDC is when those like big problems are being solved. And so I love that you emphasize that because we don't want to just
That's the
tackle the
fun
small
part.
things. We're,
That's
like
the
going
fun,
after, going
it's
after the
fun
big
when you get to
things.
solve bigger and better problems. And
Yeah,
fortunately, we've got the product catalog and the team behind us to help do those things. But again, it's all based in a sense of curiosity and putting the problem and the process even over alongside the product. But I love jumping in and solving problems. And the more that we get to do, the better partnerships we get to build.
yeah, that's awesome. I think kind of bringing in that technology piece too. I think we're living in this day where there's like this fear, or just like this worry around like digital tools reducing like the human and personal interaction. I think that's something that like I sometimes worry about, like where are we at? And so I'm just curious, like what have you experienced in this role or maybe in other roles of like how we can use some of those technology tools to help elevate the relationship and not like hinder them or like stop those relationships from
Yeah,
forming.
that's a real worry, and I think it's if not done the right way, it can definitely feel that way. There's a lot of businesses out there who want to be more tech reliant. We of course hear AI all the time. I come from over a decade in the tech space, and selling and supporting customers in the software world, where very much a part of the goal was to drive people into technology to help them use and access software platforms. But I think what really differentiates the great companies from the companies that just have a good product is how it allows you to go do things in the real world. None of us were born to sit behind a computer screen all day, although sometimes these days it can feel like it. But especially our customers, they're not people that are that exist to sit behind a computer screen. And so the way I think about it is, how can we use it to amplify and improve the overall experience? We've got to keep the end goal in mind. And again, for us, it's to help people keep their business moving. But for our customers, it's to get things into a facility, to move things around a facility, to get things out the door, to keep things moving around. And that's the essence of their business. The way I look at technology is that relates to that personal interaction is like, how can we use it to amplify it? Some of these things have been marketed to call and talk to our AI agent, or go in here and solve all into this product and solve all your problems. And really, you're creating maybe 10 more problems. But the way I think that we've taken the approach, and the way I think the great technology products take the approach, is it's really there to amplify and to get more out of the personal relationships. All of us are running out of one thing, and that's time. And if we can use technology to help give us more time, to help us spend more time on the things that are valuable inside those relationships or in the work we do that happens when we step outside of the computer, then we get the most out of technology. So I don't think technology is a replacement for the personal relationship, but it helps us move that starting line out a little bit further. So we're taking care of a lot of the low-hanging fruits asynchronously, a lot of the important information asynchronously, and that allows us to take the time we have in person or the time we have out on the floor, and again, just move that finish line a little bit further. Let's start further ahead and use technology to do that. None of us were born to just live in the matrix in a world of ones and zeros entirely.
Yeah, I even like tying that back to what you said about like solving the bigger problems. I can see where like that can really help elevate to get us to that, like you said, move that finish line and get there faster. And as we were running out of time, like you said, that's the limited resource in this that we're trying to solve. But also knowing like how frustrating it is to like pick up the phone and not get to talk with like an actual human. So I love some of the call outs you made there. What have you seen, or like how do you think RDC Digital specifically can allow your team and the representatives to just focus on those higher value discussions, solving those bigger problems, really just like getting after it?
These are really great questions. I think, like I mentioned before, it all comes with like moving the starting line forward. Like if we can start from further ahead, we can get to the finish line faster, we can get further together. I think RDC Digital in particular gives us a really sound basis in data. Again, time is the one constraint that we all have. I've never been to a customer's facility where they're sitting around saying, all I've got is time and no problems to solve. Time is the constraint. So if we can start a little bit further ahead, if we're both working from the same deck of cards, if we're both working at the same visibility of data on the same field, we've really got a better opportunity to start that conversation a little bit further. We've all been in meetings where the first half of it, or the first 80%, is recapping all the data that we've got up to this point, where really that human interaction, the value of it's the way we solve those problems together. And so if we can start with a really sound understanding, a sound basis in the data, and the same visibility, it gives us the same understanding, lets us tackle those problems even better, and again, moves us further, faster. The other side of it is I think it lets us make our customers the hero. We'll probably talk more about this, but better access to data helps us make better decisions together. It helps provide insight, and just like you were talking about in the beginning, insight into the history of piece of equipment or the history of assets and things that we're working on. Helps us give us not just that gut feeling, but more backup for those decisions, and helps again put our customers in the spot of the hero. And that's really what they are. The folks that we get to work with every day are the folks that are keeping these businesses moving. It's keeping that product moving around, keeping people safe, keeping things productive, and access to that data, which I don't think most of our customers have had in any other way prior to RDC Digital, really unlocks a whole new part of their world that they can access quickly, in a way that's really easy to read, gets us on the same field. Again, it's very user-friendly, but gets us on the same playing field, and again, allows us to accomplish those bigger problems rather than just recapping and reading out the data before. I love numbers as much as the next person, but every time I start going through numbers in a meeting, you start to see people's eyes glaze over. And I think this gives us the opportunity again to have access to that data, quickly and easily, and then also when and where we need it. I think our reps are really accessible. Our technicians are incredible folks to work with. But heaven forbid you need to know some of the data at 6 o'clock at night or on the weekend. RDC Digital allows you to have access to that. So you're not just getting that from one person, or you're not bottlenecked by one single source of truth, but you've got multiple ways to access it. And again, we talk about how you can build a better partnership, and that mutual understanding, that same playing ground, really gives us a lot better starting position.
That's awesome. I appreciate you kind of sharing some of that perspective. How does better access to that information help customers make those better decisions? I think you touched on that a little bit, but just curious if you have anything to add on that.
Yeah, well, I think decisions are kind of built to two things, and I think the best decision makers balance those well. It's kind of like how to use your head for a decision, how to use your heart for a decision. So many of our customers are, been in these facilities for years or decades. I was out in the field with a customer who'd been at their facility for 35 years the other day. Those people have an incredible ability to make gut decisions, to make decisions using the heart, because they know, they've been through it, they've seen it, they know how this works or that works, and they know, even if they don't have direct experience with a piece of equipment, they've got a really good understanding of how to lead with the gut and how to usually make good decisions. But I think, part of that decision, and even more now as we, evolve into the future, and a lot of our facilities are starting to use data more and more, that data is what helps us balance that head and the heart. So it helps us better, expose the data behind that gut decision. So if it's one person who's been in a facility for 30 years, it helps them better express the story, or better express that decision to other folks. So I think it's data is like the language bridge that bridges those teams for that balance. I think it helps make better decisions for the facility. And then the other thing I think it's really helpful, especially for those folks that make a ton of gut decisions, or maybe know the data in their mind but don't have a way to grab it and export it into a sheet like you were just mentioning, is it's not always a one-person decision. So it's not always a decision of the person who's there at the dock or who's there at the door. Access to the data helps them make a stronger business case. We so often hear that I've got to take this to finance, or I've got to go talk to someone else inside the facility. And that's great. We love group and team decisions. But again, if we use data as the language to help bridge those teams, those folks are better able to make the case for that gut decision they know is right, or for the option that they've worked on us to figure out. They can take that data and go to a finance team, and I love our finance friends, but they make decisions solely on data. And often we see customers have budgetary restraints or timing restraints, and the data plays a part in all of that. And the more we can balance that head and the heart, helps our customers make a more holistic decision that leads them to the right decision for their facility. And it's not just, hey, I think this is right, and it's not just the data points to this, but it gives us the opportunity to bridge all those teams so our customers can make the best decisions for what's right for their facility. Again, it comes down to what we can do to help our customers keep their businesses moving. And I think the right balance there is critically important.
Yeah. As you were talking, I'm just curious, like you talk about that balancing of like the head and the heart decisions, that kind of push and pull. I'm curious, like, do you see that changing in the future, or how do you see kind of like the emphasis for like that technology piece, like changing how that plays like the role in what our customers kind of are looking for in the future, or like how RDC is set up to like handle that in the future?
Good question. I think, from I think anywhere you look, it's kind of like a pendulum, and you see, for years and years, maybe it was all gut instinct. And I think that this is towards the end of its life, and I don't have data to back up that this door has done 2 million cycles and been PM'd for 5 years, and we've spent X amount, but I feel like this is time to replace, or I like this, so we're going to do that. You see another side of the pendulum where it's like, this door has been broken for 2 years, but finance, I hate to make finance the bad guys in this, but I'm in sales, so
Never.
it's my job. But the budget says we don't need it, or I can't get approval on this. Or you kind of see a blend of both those things where one person knows it's right, but the data doesn't show it. And so that pendulum is kind of locked in the middle. And I think for the better, we're looking to balance the way that pendulum's swinging into where the person on one side who's on the floor, who has to feel the pain of an asset not working or having to spend too much money on it, they've got the gut instinct. They know what's going on, and the data helps them balance that. And so I think the direction we see is, I think people are saying neither side's right. We can't steer all by solely data, because then the people on the floor are feeling real pain. We can't
Yeah.
balance the pendulum of all gut feeling, because then as much as we'd love it, everybody might be buying things at a moment's notice. We would love that, but we want the right decision for the facility. And I think you are starting to see that, where you've got smarter, more empathetic, data-driven teams. You've got facility leaders who are really looking to, lean into these things, lean into the technologies. These people want to do a great job. They just haven't been given the tools to do that historically. And so I think we're really, and kudos to you and the team building this out, like we're really helping lead the charge and bring that pendulum to a healthy middle, not a stalled middle, but a middle ground where it's not just data driven, not just gut driven, but it's like these groups of really smart folks that are running these facilities. And again, we're using data as the language to bridge both of those. And I think that's the way you're going. You're seeing more and more facilities take a more modern approach. You're seeing more and more facilities have empathy for the folks that have to deal with this stuff every day, and also leaders inside these facilities that have a better understanding of the data that goes into the decisions those folks make. So I really think it's like bridging those teams together. I really believe in the best, like people want to do great work, and the most people are good. And so it's like, how do we help these people come together? And again, I think like giving them the information, leading them through the relationship helps them come to that decision that's best for the facility, and isn't like overly governed by either side.
Yeah. That's all amazing. I just love listening to your insight. I'm curious, if we zoom out a little bit, still looking ahead, but just what does like an exceptional RDC experience, or an exceptional experience working with RDC, look like in the future?
Yeah. Well, I've said the word a few times, but I think really it's holistic and very integrated. While I am on the sales team here, I think the best sales relationships happen when it's relationship first. And so I think we've got to do our part in delivering a great customer experience and leading with curiosity, providing multiple options, helping lead people through decision, and then obviously delivering on the operational front and through the technical side, which I have tons of faith in. But I think it's like a holistic relationship. Again, going back to our first point around what makes a great partnership, is like, how do we put customers at the center of our focus, and then how do we help our customers solve the problems and opportunities that they have every single day. If we do that well, and by holistic I mean across a breadth of products and offerings, and this is where my sales side comes out, but whether it's dock and door, whether it's racking and warehouse solutions, things like safety consultations, we've got the ability to offer a really holistic relationship, and our strongest partnerships are really looking to us to help lead them into the future in that way. For us, it's got to start with the people at the center of it, and we're just so lucky to serve like truly incredible people. I think too, as we just hit on, that exceptional experience is grounded in both data and access to that data. We don't want to be the gatekeepers. I love working with our customers, but I'd rather work on the big problems. I don't want to be the gatekeeper of the data. If someone wants to know how much money have I spent on this asset, or it seems like I keep having to have this service, I want them to have access to that, because it's going to help them have the information and the resources they need to help their business move, right? Help keep their business moving. And so I want it to be grounded in that data and accessibility, so we can really spend the time we've got together working on the bigger problems, the bigger opportunities, and how we can reach success. Success is not met by, logging into a platform. It's not met by having a meeting with a salesperson or with a technician. It's met by getting something done in the real world, so we can help a business move forward. So I think it's like that holistic approach that we need to reach, really what success is. Again, I think people are setting out to do great work in the jobs that they're doing. And success for us is helping them be better at that and helping them do better work in that way. And then, like I mentioned before, it's kind of based on, I'm refining this messaging, but like the 3 Ps. It's like we got to focus on the problems. We've got to be experts in the process, and we've got to have the products to match it. And I think an exceptional experience ties those 3 things together. We center on the people and the problems and opportunities they have. We bring that together with products and help solve their problems. And I think we're going to get a lot further. But I think the exceptional experience makes that all of that, which we just covered in just a few quick minutes, feel very cohesive and feel very natural. But again, centered in the human relationships that we have. It doesn't have to be just one person, it doesn't have to just be my rep or my favorite technician. We have a team of folks here to support in that. And often it starts with that rep or technician. But I think what sets us apart and what I think adds to that great experience that a customer deserves is we've got a team of folks here to support and a team of resources here to support. And it's not just one thing, it's all those problems that our customers might have. Because again, it's our endeavor to help people keep their business moving.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. I might be putting you on the spot in just a little bit, but I'm curious, like, love like picking your brain and like brainstorming, but what does RDC Digital look like in the future? Like if you could like design it up for both the customers and your team, what are some things like that maybe you could see happening in the future that you think would just allow us to continue serving those customers and creating those partnerships?
Well, I've been a part of a couple tech companies, and I've been in tech I'm like an old guy in tech at this point, but and none of these companies have ever asked me what the product should do, so I don't know if that's reflective of the quality of this answer. But one thing, I have a lot of trust in the team here that's developing RDC Digital and continuing to put time into, and this is the easiest one for any technology platform to take their eye off of. But I just admire so much how the team puts the customer's problems at the forefront of the roadmap of what's being built. It's so easy when you start to get into what's possible, what could we do, what should we do, what's the fanciest, coolest thing. I'll use air quotes for anyone who's just listening. Coolest thing we could do. And undoubtedly there's going to be cool things that we do along the way, but I think at its core, RDC Digital exists to solve problems for our customers and help give them access anywhere, anytime that they need to data that's critically important to them. And so I think the future of it is like, how do we help solve those bigger problems? Again, we talk about moving the starting line forward. Like, how do we help our customers get access to the information they need so they're solving real problems? None of our facility managers are going to go to their president or their executive team or whoever it is and say, hey, y'all, I got this information in RDC Digital. Or, hey, I worked with this vendor on that. What they're going to go present is the problems that they solved and things they've accomplished. And what I think RDC Digital has the ability to do and will continue to, as we continue to invest time and effort into this, is they're going to be able to go with a list of problems that they solved as a result. And those problems are going to get bigger and bigger and more impactful and more impactful. And it's not just an engagement metric, but it's here's truly what we've done as a result of this partnership and the problems that are solved. And that's what, what's going to help our customers, the people at the center of this is RDC Digital. We're going to continue to focus on the problems that it helps to solve and the problems that our customers actually have day in, day out, and the opportunities they have to make them even better at their jobs and to solve more of those. So that's the thing I admire most is it's not always what's the coolest or flashiest thing we can do. Let's go inject AI into everything, which, is cool and will be more and more important, but really starting with the customer's problem at heart and then developing the product around that.
Thank you. I so appreciate everything you shared. Like I said, I so value any time that I get to spend collaborating with you here at RDC. And yeah, I'm just really thankful that you took the time out of your day to join us, Tanner. So I will actually pass it back to Cassie to wrap it up.
Tanner and Anna, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. We really hope today's discussion gave you all a better understanding of how RDC Digital strengthens the customer relationship by making information more accessible. And then in turn, our teams can focus on solving those bigger challenges together. If you would like to learn more about RDC Digital or you have questions about anything you saw or heard today, please don't hesitate to reach out to Anna or your RDC representative or anybody on the RDC team. We're all always here to help. And we will also be sharing a recording of the webinar today so you can revisit the discussion or share it with others. And thank you all again for spending part of your day with us, and have a great afternoon.